to take. Now, first advice for low back pain is pain med, right? It's the first advice. And this is what's recommended by, I believe the AMA recommends physicians, healthcare practitioners to advise this as the first line advice. Take an anti-inflammatory or an analgesic pain medication for low back pain. So let's look. Acetaminophen is more commonly advised because it doesn't interact with the GI tract as badly as the NSAIDs. And does it work? Not really, not for low back pain. This is not what the data shows. There studies show that it's found to be useless, actually, for low back pain. No pain relief, no improved healing speed, no positive impact with any factor, whether it's disability, function, quality of life, or sleep, yet it's the first line medical treatment for back pain. Go figure, right? And so one of you on this call or on this live session, or maybe watching the recording later, will say, oh, but it helps me. Well, you might be one of the few. There's also something to be said for placebo effect. If we believe something's going to work, our body, that belief can actually release chemicals in the body. Your body has substance P. Your body has an ability to address pain chemically. And so who's to say it's not triggering that based on a belief? There's a lot to be said for placebo, where you'll get a positive effect that what you're taking doesn't necessarily create a positive effect. There's also something called the nocebo effect, which is somebody getting a negative effect from something that can't possibly cause a negative effect. And we're talking about inert ingredients, like saline, right? Salt water. That isn't necessarily going to cause a positive or a negative effect, right? So there are a lot of studies out there where there's no control group. There's nobody taking a placebo. There's nobody taking an inert object, right? So we have to look at the details on these studies, and that's what sometimes my eyes cross when I'm following the rabbit trail of some of these studies, trying to figure out what they're saying and why they're saying it and is it accurate, right? So here are 15 studies involving nearly 6,000 participants, and this is reviewed by the Cochrane Organization, and I won't get off on a tangent with them. They used to be the most reliable, unbiased research organization in the world. Not so much anymore, and that's a big, long story, but up until a few years ago, they were. And so you could pretty much take what they said to the bank. And what they found, and this was back in 2006, so this was long before all of the drama happened in their organization, and now they're not so trustworthy. It was found to reduce hip or knee pain better than a placebo by 4 points on a scale of 0 to 100. So if your pain is a 65 and it drops to a 61 out of 100, does that make a big difference? Not really. And then physical function and stiffness were considered about the same. So really not working for hip or knee pain when it comes to osteoarthritis. Of course, you're also learning in this 6-day challenge that knee or hip pain may have absolutely nothing to do with your arthritis, right? Because if you're seeing it improve with specific movements or changing your diet or both, then guess what? It may not have been what shows up on X-ray. And we're going to talk about that before we're done today. So and then we've got risks. Okay, we looked at the benefits. And of course, I'm not giving an all exhaustive review of all this stuff out there. I've got a lot of things to cover here. So this is kind of a snapshot. But this is the toxicity risks of acetaminophen. And some of you may be aware, I think it was about 20, maybe 25 years ago. It's, got to add those years up now, where there was a big thing reported in the news about Tylenol and people having liver issues, right? Really affecting their health.